Mike here, and I'd like to create a very simple relaxation session today with the Neuro Programmer 3, and that's a brainwave entrainment software. Down here in the bottom, I'll click this icon. It opens up the software. So the relaxation session will be in alpha, and those are the frequencies between 8 and 12 hertz. I'd like to use a low frequency tone as my base, but I'll first run a few test tracks to find out what frequency sounds good. Now, top left, I'll click File and New Session, and I'll select this first one, Blank Session. And so I want to find a low frequency tone, so I'll click Insert, Add Monaural Beat Track, and it opens up a track with two default nodes. These nodes have properties that can be adjusted, so I'll adjust them to find my frequency I like for my base frequency. It's already populated with 15, but I'm going to bring this down to 0 and bring the volume up. These are the node properties, and keep minutes at 0 so it starts from the beginning, and remove this check. I don't want it to optimize anything because I want to start at 0 hertz for this node 1, and so it was at 15. I dropped it down to 0, so this node will drop down to the bottom. And so now I move on to node 2 and bring this down to 0. The brainwave frequency is already in alpha here, but for my test to find my low frequency base, I'll just bring this to 0 and the volume all the way up. And I only want this test to be 1 minute, so from node 1 to node 2 will be 1 minute. Now this is out at a 30-minute session length. Let me zoom in. So way down over here in the bottom right, we can see the session length is 30 minutes, full scale 30 minutes, and my node is at 10 minutes here. So when I change it to 1 minute on a 30-minute scale, it'll shift way down to the left. I'll have to change the session length next. But first, brainwave, I'll bring it down to 0. Volume is up. And so I want this to run to 150 hertz. So node 1 is 0. Node 2 will be 150 hertz. So I don't need the program to optimize the pitch. I already know what I want. So when I click OK, this will drop down because my brainwave frequency is at 0, and it'll shift to the left because my time is adjusted to 1 minute. So here's these two nodes right here. One, you can barely see them because it's so flat. It's flat on this brainwave scale. It's on the time scale, but it's because brainwave is 0, you can barely see them. Now what I want to do next is change the session length. So we're changing the session length, and that can be done down here. Click Change Session Length, and this opens up a box, and my new session length will be 1.25 minutes because my node over here is at 1 minute. I only need my test to be 1 minute, so the session length just needs to be a little bit longer than that. It's set at 30 now. As soon as I hit OK, it changes to 1.25. So this is still 1 minute, but on a 1.25 full-length scale, it comes way over to the 20th node. So when I hit OK, watch this node come way over here. And so here it is right here. And let me zoom in, and we can see the new session length is 1.25 to 5 minutes, otherwise known as 1 minute 15 seconds, and the node shifted way over here to the 20th line segment. I use 1.25 because now these line segments are evenly spaced at 0.1 minute intervals. Every other is evenly spaced. So 0.1, another 0.1, another 0.1, and so it makes these node placements easy to do in some type of organized fashion, and you can calculate frequency easy as well. Okay, so now what we want to do is listen to this, and I'll hit play and make sure this is on solo, even though there's only one track. It's a good habit to get into. Stop and rewind, good habit to get into. Now the idea is, well, it's going to go from 0 to 150 hertz. 0 is inaudible, so the idea is to find out what frequency I can begin to hear this, and then calculate what the frequency that is. So let me hit play. Headphones all the way up. Alright, so we don't need to go all the way. I just heard what I needed. So stop. Rewind. It was around the 4th line segment, so I want to calculate what frequency that is. Now I know my range was going from 0 to 150, so my range is 150, and there are 20 line segments in between node 1 and node 2, so 150 divided by 20 is equal to 7.5 hertz increment between each line segment. And I heard it, I started to hear it around 4, so 7.5 times 4 is equal to 30. Now that gives me information enough for my next track, which I want to drill down a little bit closer. And so with that, my 30, I'll insert another monaural beat track, and here it is. It just popped in here, and I have my 2 nodes still in place. Now I know my results of the last track were 30 hertz, so I'll set these nodes above and below that 30 hertz. So with my last track, I found 30 hertz, so I want to set my node here, this first node, at a pitch of something below 30, so I'll use 15. Brainwave I'll keep at 0, but volume all the way up. Minutes keep at 0, so I start at the beginning, and that's it for node 1. Moving on to node 2. Results of the previous track was 30, so I want my pitch to be something more than 30. Now it's at 150. One of the reasons it's at 150 because if you don't use headphones and you just try to run this with your laptop, you may not even be able to hear 150 hertz. That's what happened to me. I thought something was wrong until I increased it to 150. I could just barely start to hear it in a quiet area. So I'm using a $20 pair of Logitech headphones with the microphone, hopefully not picking up too much background noise, but in the screencast I'll pick up extra noises. The screencast software versus the neural programmer software, 2 of them combined may have internal noises or the background noises. Now, so the pitch here, something above my 30, and so 40 is good, so clicking OK. So with this track, same thing, I want to hit play and listen to where the sound comes in, but first solo, mute, stop, rewind, headphone volume all the way up. Now when I hit play, my 15 hertz to 40 hertz. I have a run of 15 hertz to 40 hertz. 15 is below the audible range. Somewhere along the line here it becomes audible, and that's what I'm looking for. I want to count the line segment that this becomes audible. So stop, rewind, and play, listening for the line segment that my pitch becomes audible. So it seems to me if 7 or 7, 8, 9, somewhere around there, I'll use 9 as the line segment that the pitch becomes audible. So stop this, rewind that, and with the calculator, we're using 9 as the line segment. My range though went from 15 to 40, so 40 minus 15 is my range, 25, and I still have 25 line segments between them, so my 25 divided by 20 line segments is equal to 1.25 hertz increase in frequency between each line segment. I found, I'm using 9, that's what I want. So 1.25 line segments times 9 line segments is equal to, out here, 11.25 hertz is this little range in between my 9 line segments. However, I didn't start at 0, so I have to add the 15 that I started at. So 11.25 plus 15 is 26 hertz or so. That is my minimum audible using 9 line segments, using my headphone in the Lenovo G505 laptop. So now that is good for what I want to use for my relaxation session. It's a little, I want something a little bit higher so we can actually hear it. So I'll add 10 and make it maybe 36 or round it to 35. So 35 hertz is what I'll use as my base frequency. Okay, so let's listen to what 35 hertz sounds like by inserting another track, dragging it down. It gives me 2 nodes already, but I want to add 2 nodes, another couple nodes. So out at point 1, well, out at point 2, drop a node, 1, 2, and then drop another node. Now release it and change the properties of, let me just check the properties. Brainwave 0, I'll keep it at 0, the brainwave. Pitch is 35. So what I want to do here is, and I'll bring this down to 0. So that's, and then the volume up. Now what I want to do is play 35 hertz at 0 for a few seconds, and then come up to 35 hertz at 12 into the alpha range. And then so it's 35 hertz all the way, I guess it is. Let me see. No, got to change this to 35 hertz. And I guess I'll just yeah, and so it's, let's take a look at this. So 35 hertz, 0 brainwave, up to alpha. So let's listen to this. So it's solo, mute, stop, rewind, listen to how where brainwave frequencies come in, or alpha frequencies come in. Okay, I made a third track here, and let me explain it. I have a 0 brainwave down here, 0 pulsing, up to 12 hertz, down to 8, up to 12. Now the pulsing, or the pitch, is 35 hertz all the way across. It does drop in a couple places, 35 down to 25, so audible down to inaudible, and then inaudible up to audible, even though this is a brainwave line showing a downward direction, but it's really, well, the sound, the pitch is increasing, so you begin to hear it here. You begin to lose it here and hear it here. So let's listen to what this sounds like, and can it be used in a relaxation session. Let's listen for this. Okay, so stopping that, and so this track coupled with a background, a nature sound background file track. So let me add a background sound file of nature. Okay, so to get the nature sounds, they're already in this program here. So insert, add a sound file, and there's a bunch of them here. I'll pick this first one, Babbling Brook, open that up, and kind of like stretch it down, and solo. Well, actually, I don't even want to solo it. I want to play it. Well, let me just solo it and mute the others. Just play this for a second. One thing I do want to show you, though, the two nodes, the volume needs to be, it has to come way down here to like 3. I guess you can bring this up to 12, the brainwave. Leave AMI alone. The second node out at 1 minute. Clicking on this, bringing this up to 12. Volume way down is the main thing here. Down to 3% is good. 2 or 3. I'll leave it at 2. All right. Out at a minute. AMI, leave it there. And so everything's muted except for this. Let's play this and just listen to it for a second or two. Okay, good. Now let's combine the two by removing this mute and removing that solo. Everything else is muted. All right, stop, rewind. We'll listen to these two. Just let it play for a minute. so that's good. Now, once again, this is only a 1-minute session length. So, do you think you could create a 20-minute relaxation session of your own and follow some type of biorhythm as if you were relaxing, some type of ebb and flow, if you wanted to meditate with the fluctuating sounds and brain waves in some type of background, relaxing background, babbling brook. Also, there are actually sound files that that whisper in a positive sound file, voice files that you can include also. But for now, what I want to do is save this, and so I can play it on my phone or wherever. And so what I do here is File, Export as MP3 to, and create a file name to the desktop, and I'll use this file name. I'm rewriting over this now, and then hit save. It says ask me one rewrite. Yes, just rewrite over that. Now exporting, and so that's basically it. You go to the desktop and send it to your smartphone or whatever you got there. So let me just find it, then minimize this, minimize this. Here it is over here. Open with whatever, Windows Media, and of course it's only MP3, so there's no video. That's kind of a nice relaxing, it's a quick one. 20 minutes would be better. And even some type of whispering voices with suggestions in neurolinguistic programming or other embedded commands. And so basically that is it for today. I hope you enjoy that quick tutorial. So when you make your own and it's time to listen, you can try sleep phones, which is flat speakers sewn into a headband, and they're great because you can lie down and close your eyes, pull the band over your eyes, and there's flat speakers built in, and so that's great to block out the light. And you can use these type of files when you're not at home, maybe on break at work, in the parking lot, for a quick meditation session. So that's it, and get another video out on another topic as soon as I can.